Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing another market analysis for the month of April. During the month of April, we saw the release of the Clue Scroll expansion, so we have a ton of new items to have a look at. We're going to be looking at what the price has settled at so far. It's only been out for a week or two. Also, Venezuela has seen another mass blackout, so we're going to be looking at that as well. And lastly, it seems like a lot of items have been crashing since the 14th of April. We're also going to be looking at that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. So on the 11th of April, we saw the Clue Scroll expansion released. We now have a ton of new items, including beginner rewards, some new easy rewards, medium hard, elite, and even master rewards. The highest tier reward is the Druidic set. The Druidic set is similar to the Proselyte armor set, however, it doesn't actually have a negative magic bonus, so you can wear it when you're maging. It now provides the highest prayer bonus of any item in that slot. Now, in combination with it being best in slot, along with its rarity, means that the Druidic robe top, bottom, and really the whole set is going to be pretty expensive, and we can see that the price for the top is currently 1 bill, which is really expensive. The bottom is worth around 500 mil. Not a lot of them traded right now. Now, as purely an offensive item, the Druidic Cloak is probably worth a bit less, only because the Ardoon Cloak 4 is actually better, and you can get it pretty much for free. However, it still is a pretty high requirement, so I would imagine the item will still be pretty valuable. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the Druidic Staff actually has a purpose beyond cosmetic or rarity. It only gives plus 10 magic attack and plus 6 prayer, which is extremely uncommon on a staff. It may be useful in certain circumstances, like maybe barrows. But anyway, it is extremely rare, so I imagine it will probably still keep its value. Currently, it's worth around 761 mil, the first one selling for over a bill. And the last third age item we have here is the third age plate skirt, worth around 113 mil. It provides pretty decent defensive stats, but the rarity will make it expensive and the price will not make it worth it. It'll probably fall in line with the plate legs pretty soon. Okay, next up here we have the Feminine Kilt, which when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be extremely good. However, I think it's a little cost restrictive currently. It's 27 mil. Essentially what it is an iron plate legs with a +1 strength bonus, which is pretty good considering you can wear it at level 1. However, the fact that it's 26 mil makes it, a little restrictive until it becomes drastically cheaper. The price is currently just held up by its rarity. I think once we get more into the game, the price will decrease quite significantly. However, I would expect it to still be really valuable because well-funded One Defense Pures will always want to have this item. Another interesting item that is purely cosmetic and is obtained from the Mimic boss is the Ring of Third Age. It allows yourself to turn into any third age item, pretty much just used for trolling or potentially luring, I don't know. Currently it's worth around 27 mil, which I think dropped quicker than I would have imagined. The Ring of Nature still is worth around 10 mil, and I think the Ring of Coins is worth even more, 17 mil. So they have held their value for a long time. However, the fact that this item is free to play probably has a bit of an impact on that, but still considering I think the Ring of Third Age is pretty cheap already. Another interesting item is the Cape of Skulls. I was not really sure how valuable this item would be. What happens is when you equip it, you become skulled. A regular skull for 20 minutes after you take it off. Currently it's worth around 20 to 25 mil and is one of the most traded items of the Clue Scroll rewards. I suppose it could just be a more convenient way to skull yourself. However, most people are fighting in the Edgeville Varrock area anyway, so it's not that inconvenient. Other than that, I don't really see any other use for it. Another interesting item is the Ranger Tights. Completing the full Ranger set, like the rest of the Ranger outfit, it requires 40 range to wear and it has slightly higher stats than the Red D'hide chaps, but requires no defense to wear it. Currently worth around 12 mil, which again I thought was a bit cheap considering the Ranger's tunic is still worth almost 9 mil. The Ranger boots is worth 31 mil. I mean, that's kept expensive by the Pegasians, but still I thought it would be worth a bit more for longer. But anyway, still gonna be pretty valuable. Okay, next up here we have the spiked manacles, and I definitely thought that these would be worth more. The spiked manacles have no requirements to equip and are equivalent to dragon boots as far as their strength bonus goes. They offer +2 over climbing boots and are only surpassed by the primordials. However, currently they're worth only around 4 mil. I thought they would be worth more, but I think they're actually a pretty fair price right now. I guess they are much less rare than the Feminine Kilt, for example. This item trades a lot for a Clue Scroll reward, actually 80 a day, which is a lot considering some of these other items trade like 1 max or 2. Next up here we have some new Gilded items, and I was almost certain that the Gilded Spade would be worth way more than these, purely just from the meme value, but I was wrong. The Gilded Pickaxe and Axe is worth more. The Gilded Pickaxe is worth around 57 mil right now, and the Gilded Axe is around 28. Unfortunately, the Gilded Spade is actually worth less, around 23 mil, and you know why? it cannot be used as a regular spade. That is bullshit right there. And it's really sad you can't use it as an actual spade. I think that would make it way more valuable because the Gilded Axe and the Gilded Pickaxe are at least equivalent to runite items, which means that somebody might use them. That being said, these items are actually free to play, I believe, which will generally help it keep its value because there's no way for people in free to play to earn these items. It's only taken straight out of the membership, which will just remove more from circulation. So as I mentioned earlier, free-to-play actually received their very first type of clue scroll, which is the beginner clue scroll, and with it there are unique rewards that free-to-play accounts can actually earn. They are pretty much all cosmetic. We have items like the bare feet, only worth around 50k now, unfortunately. We have the mole slippers, still worth around 300k. The interesting thing I find about these items is that they are all cosmetic, which means the value is most likely determined just by how cool they look. Now that might not be 100% accurate because there could be a rarity difference between them, but assuming they are the same, interesting to think about. We also have the Jester Cape, which is worth still around 174k, and the most expensive item on the free-to-play beginner drop table is the Shoulder Parrot, still worth around 1.3 mil, which is very expensive for a free-to-play item. I think it might be the most expensive item that is obtainable in free-to-play currently. Like I said earlier, the Ring of Nature and the Ring of Coins are available in free-to-play, but they are not obtainable. Besides the Shoulder Parrot, there's Obour's Club, but I do think this is actually the most expensive item you can obtain in free-to-play right now. Okay, so now moving on from the Clue Scroll rewards, I mentioned at the beginning that for some reason around the 14th of April onwards, a few very popular PVM items have crashed very significantly. I don't really have an actual explanation for it. However, I'm going to look at some of the more affected items just to show a comparison. Okay, starting off here, we have the Bandos chest plate, worth pretty consistently around 20 mil until the 14th or 15th, and it crashed down to 18.7, which is a pretty significant drop. Next up here, we have the crossbow, pretty consistently worth 30 mil if we go back to the quarter. However, somewhere around the 13th, it started dropping and now it's worth 24 mil, a 6 mil loss, which is extremely substantial. The crossbow has never been more affordable. I may go ahead and buy myself one. We have the Dragon Warhammer doing something similar. It has been crashing over the last third of the month here, down to around 54 mil. From 60, we have the Ancestral Robe Top doing something similar, going from around 70 mil down to 61. Now, part of this could have to do with the new warding blog and proposing some items that could even be best in slot over the Ancestral armor set. Probably just an overreaction because I don't think that's going to pan out like that. A pretty similar story with the Ancestral Robe Bottom, going from around 65 mil down to 60 even. Same thing for the Armored Chest Plate, going from around 43 mil down to 40. Now, another guess is that perhaps a lot of people are diverting their funds for other items, so maybe a lot of these items are getting sold off to buy some of the new Clue Scroll rewards. It is kind of in that time frame, although not exactly on the day it was released. And another huge one is the Dragon Hunter crossbow, going from around 129, 130 mil down to 110 on April 16th, shooting back up extremely quickly, but 110 mil is the cheapest it's been in probably like a year almost. The Dragon Hunter crossbow has to be the most erratic item ever. It always gets affected by updates somehow. It's always changing. Back in April, worth 90 mil, going all the way up to 173 mil at peak, and now kind of slowly going back down. So about a month ago, I made a video on the power outage in Venezuela. Well, since then, they have consistently had power outages, and another major one on April 11th. I just wanted to have a quick look if we could see a noticeable change in the item prices here. You can see the first one here was around March 26th, I think. The amount traded went from around like 10, 20 mil to like 4 mil, so a very serious change. The other one was on April 9th, so it went from around 9 mil pretty much up here down to 5 to 6 mil, so I think there was a noticeable change, but not nearly as much as the first power outage. We have a look at Dragon Bones. We have 900k, 1.3 mil, 1 mil, and then on the 9th it went down to 926k, 911k, like maybe a bit different, but not substantial. So now let's have a quick look at the price of bonds, and ever since January, they have been rising up pretty consistently. Worth around 3 mil in January, they are now up to around 4 mil pretty consistently. Going back to the year graph, we can see the highest over the last year was around 4.4 mil, and that was interestingly enough in June. So we're pretty much at the exact same price that we were at last year. I would expect it to go up maybe even close to 5 mil over the next couple months, and we'll probably see another crash around the summertime, which is pretty common, and then probably it'll raise back up all the way until December. Last year we saw the price tank before December, but I think that was because of the release of mobile, and we probably won't get a similar update like that, so I'd expect it to go up all the way until December. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. A lot of things changed this month. We have a ton of new items, a ton of existing items crashing, and just generally a lot of changes in the market. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave the video a like. I would appreciate it, and I will see you next time.